Hi guys! Today I will share with you 6 mental hacks for amazing health. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Sylvia and I'm a big city mom. When I started my journey to health, I took this odd approach of putting all conventional doctors as bad and everything that was alternative medicine was good, including witchcraft. Joking. And some of it was good, a lot of it was bad, and after many trials and errors, I learned that it is the golden path. Some of the conventional doctors are good and some of the strategies from the alternative medicine is good as well, and not everything in alternative medicine will work out for you, otherwise we wouldn't have chronic disease, right? All right, so let's start with the hack number 1, that is the most important one. It is accept that it is you and only you that are in charge of your health and your lifestyle choices. It all starts and ends with you. I know this isn't easy to accept, especially if you run into a situation where you sit down with a doctor and you get diagnosis that you have a chronic, severe disease that we don't know why you got it, we cannot cure it, we can only manage symptoms, and the medication and protocols that we use have a lot of side effects, but that is the only thing at this time that we know how to do. And what's happening here, there are 2 very powerful persuasion techniques at play. First of all, it's a fear of dying, of disease. It's very powerful on the human psyche. And the second one is the appeal to authority. You have a doctor that has a degree, knows a lot more than you, uses fancy technical language, speaks to you from the position of authority, telling you this is what you have to do. I am a doctor and I'm telling you to do it. So it's difficult to resist the temptation, okay, you know better, let's go with everything you told me, especially you are now in the state of fear and they just told you the worst case scenario. But resist the temptation, because there's a lot more things at play here than you think. A lot of us naively assume that the doctors have only our health in mind, but that isn't true. I mean, it would be great if we were living in the perfect world, but we're not there. We live in the world where doctors have to tell you the worst case scenario because of the liability insurance, and here in New York we are talking about $1.5 million a year. They have to follow protocols that the insurance wants them to follow so that they can get paid. So if you are wondering why they are running so many tests, it could be that the insurance wants them to do it. They have students' loans to pay back, income to make, and all of that gets incorporated into recommending treatment or procedure for you. And that's not how you think. I'm sure you are thinking, how can I get better? But you have to keep that in mind, that the person that is speaking to you about your health has to take a lot of other considerations, not just your health. So yes, you are the one that has to take time, research the procedures or the treatment that you'll be taking, and make your own decision for your own good. On the other hand, you may wind up like I did with a Ayurvedic protocol of a doctor that was portraying himself as half guru, and you just spent a few $1,000s for supplements and all kind of herbal remedies just to learn that some of the combinations that you were taking for a year and a half just can make you worse, and your gut permeability will actually increase and your rheumatoid arthritis will not improve. In some cases it may get worse. But I was thinking that the alternative medicine is the way to go, that traditional remedies are the thing, herbalism will fix everything. And I learned the hard way that they don't. But also, I questioned the conventional doctors, but I never questioned the alternative medicine doctors. And so I paid the price, a high one too. So embrace the approach that everything starts and stops with you. You are the only one in charge of your health decisions. And believe it or not, this approach will work out for you more often than not. And now I will go all spiritual on you and paraphrase something from Zen Buddhism, and that is, you might be a small light, but that is the only light you should follow. Mental hack number 2, examine your biases. That's right. I know it's not an easy one because we all have our biases and we all fall for them, so not a single one of us are immune from it. But do your best and learn from your own experience. I certainly did. Years ago, I was so impressed by the concept of the vegetarian diet, and I just really liked the idea of it without examining it critically. And so I went for it without asking any questions. And I only listened to the doctors and to the influencers that were reinforcing whatever I was already believing about the vegetarian diet. Never mind that my body was not doing well. Very quickly I started getting signals that this isn't the way to go, but I ignored it for many years and I paid a price by losing 8 of my molars. So hopefully you don't do that. The best way to guard against biases is to examine them critically, ask questions, analyze them, listen to the opposite views, and then just observe your body. Let your body be the guide. Don't just fall for the ideology, whatever it is, not even the carnivore ideology. If there is somebody in the carnivore community that is too ideological about it, that means you should be asking questions. Mental hack number 3, learn to listen to your body. It is an art and a skill at the same time, and it takes time to get there, but it is definitely possible and everybody should do it. Your body always whispers. It hardly ever screams, and if it has to scream, you are already very ill, and for years you must have ignored many of the subtle signs that you were going the wrong direction. Now there's one caveat here. You have to get rid of all your stimulants and food addictions because they will often send you the wrong signals and mask all kinds of different deficiencies that your body will be putting up with. It's quite simple. Healthy body will send healthy signals, and the addicted body will be sending addiction signals. Mental hack number 4, one size doesn't fit all. I know it sounds cliche, and I know you heard it a million times applied to just about every other aspect of life. And yeah, it is true, it is sort of cliche, but let's go with it. Hear me out. So you're probably watching YouTube and there are a number of influencers saying, well, ketogenic diet did wonders to me. Low carb diet is the way to go. That's how I reversed my diabetes type 2. Carnivore diet healed everything and some. And so you're thinking, well, this sounds great. I'll just have to go on a diet for a given period of time and everything will be cool. All my problems will just go away with this one diet. And then so let's say you go on the carnivore diet, and then you find out that you're not progressing as fast. Maybe your progress is stalling, or you're going backwards. You have a bunch of cravings that prevent you from being consistent on the diet, and then you're sitting there asking, what's wrong with me? Where did I go wrong? And the answer is, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with you. Everything is normal. You just listen to people that have different bodies, different life history, different health history. What you have to do is to get inspired, use other people's strategies, get motivated, but ultimately make a diet, a lifestyle that works for you and is consistent with your genetic phenotype. And hack number 5, how your body feels should be the only point of reference that you are doing it right. So I went on a carnivore diet to reverse rheumatoid arthritis. With that, chronic fatigue went away, nutritional deficiencies got addressed. I eliminated a bunch of other minor inconveniences I was dealing with my body. And when I went to the doctor and had my blood work done, all my inflammation markers are normal. My A1C is perfect. My fertility increased from the 4 years ago. And when I tell people that I'm on the carnivore diet, I oftentimes get these responses, but there are no long-term studies how good this diet is, and it may shorten your life. You just don't know, you shouldn't do it. And I don't always say it back to people. I would most of the time. It would probably sound really rude, but I think to myself, I don't care to live 200 years and eat lettuce and kale if I'm gonna be crippled by pain. I much rather live to 85 and be happy and healthy in my body. The joint pain and the crippling it gives to you and everyone around you is a real thing. But yeah, and you will still hear that a lot when you tell people that you're on a carnivore diet and you objectively were able to normalize all your inflammation markers and you are symptoms free, and yet it looks like you are going to die the next day. And by the way, did you know that there are no long-term clinical studies on any other diet? It is only the carnivore diet that get this kind of attacks. And last but not least, mental hack number 6. Learn discipline and apply it to your health. I know some people will say, but I am not naturally disciplined, and it gets especially hard when it comes to eating right. And it is true. Some people are naturally more disciplined than others. But discipline is super important, a critical skill to have when it comes to achieving success and health and everything else in life. And there is a reason, if you go to the self-help section of any bookstore, that a bunch of them, or most of them, revolve around learning discipline and applying it to many different areas of your life. So discipline is super important because you won't always have the motivation, and that's when discipline comes in handy. Alright, so this will do it for this week's video. These are my 6 mental hacks. I use them often to make health and lifestyle choices, and looking at my own results, they're pretty solid. Give them a try. Let me know if you have some other ideas, and I will see you in my Friday findings. Bye!